Welcome back to Off-Road TV.
Welcome back to Off-Road TV.
I'm Darren.
I'm Jake.
And this is the back bar truck.
That is.
So we're going to do a walkthrough of the truck today, let you see what we've been doing over the last few months. Let you see the pub in the back. Yes, there's a pub in the back.
Yeah.
And yeah, basically all the mods that we've done, we're going to take you right through them all now. So,
Yes.
what is it?
It is a 2010 Fuso Canter. Fuso is technically part of Mitsubishi, but now owned by Mercedes.
Yeah, okay.
So this is the Mercedes Mitsubishi Fuso Canter. FG84D, for those that are enthusiasts.
Yeah.
It is a 2010 5-liter turbo diesel 4-cylinder manual. Manual.
Wow.
With full 4-wheel drive, high range, low range, diff locks, rear limited sub differential, and now we have front e-lock on this as well.
Yeah, so hugely capable, or should be.
Very capable, yes.
Bit different to drive than your Y62?
Very different to drive than the Y62. There's obviously a couple of first things that you can tell. One is that you're not sitting behind the front wheels, you're sitting on top of the front wheels. Yeah. It is a lot taller. It's actually not that much wider than the Y62.
Yeah.
It's only about 10 centimeters wider. But yeah, it's the weight distribution is very different.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it hasn't come across anything yet that it hasn't been able to go through, really, has it? The
No.
only thing we've ever worried about is whether it would tip over.
Yes, and we need to test that. We were thinking about doing some sort of video to see how far it can go.
How far we can tip it.
It is scary though.
Yeah, all right, well, do you want to get into it? We'll start at the front and...
So the first thing that we've done, bull bar.
Yeah.
So this is the ECB bull bar. There was an old bull bar on that we took off and put a brand new one on that. Came from AAV. Over east. Bull bar has a party trick. If you unscrew these two, the whole bull bar folds forward.
Yep.
You can sit on it, but you can also have access to the winch and all the electrical as well.
Well, it made it so much easier putting that winch in, didn't it, when it just folds down. So
yes,
yeah, it's
absolutely.
a good trick.
So that's the bull bar. To the bull bar we have the STEDI bar in the front.
Yep.
And a few driving lights.
Bodies. How many are wired up?
Well, they're all wired up now,
yeah.
But generally if I'm driving off-road at night, on-road at night, I use these two, so this one and this one, and the light bar. That's plenty of light.
Oh, yeah.
If you're in some serious off-road, long distance, or if you're at night on a beach and you really can't see, you can turn them all on.
Yeah, it's quite a show when they're all on.
It is, yes.
Between that and the FJ, we can definitely see where we're going.
Yeah.
All right.
These are mounted to the scrub bar, so this whole protection bar comes together with the roof rack. Comes from AAV as well, and so all of these bodies are mounted to that. There's actually a bracket to mount these, so it comes with that, and it just helps. You can see the whole front basically is protected, so if there's any branches that we're hitting, there's nothing hitting the truck or the windshield.
Yeah, and even this is a stone protector, I assume, is it?
Yeah, so this, look, I put it on because it looks good, but it actually works really well. Like the number of rocks that were flinged off other cars and hit this instead of the windshield, definitely worth it. Yeah,
yep. And then comms on the front here?
Yeah, so we've got the EcoXGear CB radio or UHF radio.
Yep.
And so that's the one that's built in the truck. We'll look at it in a second. And we've got the 4G, 5G repeater, which is the cell-fi unit.
Yep.
So when you're out there camping and you have that 1 bar of signal that really doesn't do anything, this thing actually boosts it to like 3 or 4.
And it actually works.
Yes.
We've been pretty surprised by how well it works. So.
It does, it does. So inside of the bar we have the winch. The winch is a 25,000 pound Sherpa Stallion.
Yep.
And there's one at the back as well. So we don't really want to be relying on having other vehicles pull this out. So one on each end of those. And then there is an extra one, 12,000 pounds, that's hidden.
So you've got 3 winches.
I've got 3 winches. You'll know in a second what the third one is for.
Yeah, that's the best one.
And then I guess if you look underneath, you don't really have to bend too far. You can sort of walk in there.
Yep.
There's all the protection from AAV. So there's protection for the aircon, protection for the front cooler, and protection for the diff pump key and the steering arm. So the whole thing is protected from the front.
Yeah.
Yep.
Stands out anyway. Right.
It does. What else is in the front?
Some
Nothing.
crappy headlights that you need to upgrade.
Yeah, shit headlights. They just, yeah.
That said, when you broke a light there compared to when you broke, remember you broke a light on the.
Yeah, that's a good point. I did break one of these, which is the signal, and the fake front light. There's actually no light inside it, just looks like it. I broke one of these on the other side. There's $70 to replace.
Yeah.
For the pair.
Why 62?
Y62 was $2,000.
For a lot.
So that's one of the reasons why this truck is because, you know, we were looking at the Unimogs, but comfort aside, the fact that this can do 100, 110 km an hour without a problem and has aircon, but it's the fact that there are so many of these Canters on the road, parts are so cheap, everywhere available, everyone knows how to work on these. Yeah,
no, it's good. Makes life a bit easier because you do break things on a regular basis.
I've been known to test things to their limits.
You'll notice as we walk around the truck that it's already got quite a few battle scars. All right, come round the side. What have you been doing here then?
So a couple of things to highlight on the side. First one is, I think fairly obvious, is the paint job. Yep. It's not a paint, well it is technically paint, but it's a Raptor. So the whole thing has been Raptor coated. Yep. Everything on it, Raptor coated. The main reason is because it's extremely durable, and you know what we do with it, we need that. But also I think it looks good. And quick question, how many times do you think this has been washed over the last 6 months of four-wheel driving?
Once.
Not a single one time.
Yeah, wow.
This is, the Raptor coating just holds up so well. Yeah. I'm so impressed. The scratches that you see on that, that's not in the paint. That's actually like the branches and bushes on it, right? Yeah. So if I don't know if you can see on the camera, but it just wipes off. Yeah. Like all of that can just be wiped off. So yeah, all Raptor coated. And these are not stickers. This is all stenciled into the paint, so that can't come off. Yeah.
And that's Ash at Raptor Coating WA.
Yes, so there is
that guy there. He's a bit of a genius with the Raptor Coating. I mean, these logos alone, I mean, to do that off-road TV logo is incredible in Raptor Coat, you know? Yeah,
so it took them 2 days to mask everything off, which is a little bit of work. But in general vehicles, like they did the whole car. So they did your FJ, some of the parts on that. They've done the trailer. They've done the buggy that we did the Simpson with. Yep. And then obviously this.
Yeah. All right, and then tires and wheels. What have you?
Yes. So these come stock with small, I don't know what size, it's 19.5-inch rims, and the tires on it are, I don't know what it is, 33s or something. Yeah. And it comes with a single in front, but it comes with 2 wheels at the back, right? So you need to remove one. It's called a super single, so you replace the 2 with 1 at the back, and that track's in the same track as the front. Yeah. So these are 37s. Okay. They're the biggest legally that you can fit on that. I know that people drive with 40s on that. You can put 40s on it. It's totally fine. It gives a little bit more clearance. But with the brakes that come stock, the 40s are too big to stop safely. So 37s, they work really well. These are the Dynapro MTs from Hankook. Yep. Supplied by AAV. Come on the rims from AAV. And then standard lockers.
Yeah, and these orange things you've got on here. For those who don't know, what are they?
I've seen this on mine sides first, and I realized how genius that is, right? So, and you can get it for any car, it's not just for trucks, for four-wheel drives. These indicate if any of the nuts have moved. So you put them in there and you align them so they're all pointing at each other. Yep. And then you go four-wheel driving. And every time you stop and you go to the toilet, whatever, you just have a quick look. Yeah. And if any of the nuts start getting loose, you immediately can tell. Yeah, you don't have to wait for your wheel to fly off.
Super simple
Which
safety.
We've seen.
Yes, I have seen one go past me.
Yeah, well, we lost the wheel, and on the Holland track, someone also lost the wheel.
Yeah. All right, and suspension? What have we done in here?
So suspension is the Piranha off-road remote res suspension. So we upgraded all the leaf springs from AAV. Yep. And upgraded all the suspension to the Piranha. So it's a lot more. It's lifted a bit, but it's a lot more smooth, a lot more comfortable, especially the rear. These trucks are obviously designed to carry heavy loads, so they're a little bit harsh on suspension, especially like corrugations and things like that. So the suspension just completely changed the world of driving this thing.
But how is it, talking about that, driving this thing, explain what it's like because the chassis and the cab and all that, how does it feel to drive? Because when I'm watching it, the back end of it's out here and the front of it's here, and it just looks...
It does that, so we'll show you the party trick when we walk around. Well, we can try it here actually. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it. You can see how this thing twists, right? So when you have the chassis, it's 2 rails and they do twist as you drive. The cab is on springs.
Yep.
And the whole tray at the back is on a kinetic sub-tray, which is also on springs. So the cab, the chassis, and the rear can all twist independently from each other. So you can easily get half a meter on top distance between the two.
The first time we did that, I thought you'd broken it.
It is scary when you're driving, right? And you dip into one side, and then you see in a mirror your whole box in the back just going the other direction.
Yeah, it's wild.
But yeah, it just means that the flex on this is incredible. And most holes that we go through, there's no wheel lips, it just flexes through everything.
Yeah, it just idles through, no bother, doesn't it?
Yeah, and you can see from the Powerline's track what the flex looks like on this.
Yeah.
With the Patrol, we've done some crazy wheelies, and this thing just floats over.
Yeah. And you've fitted a water tank up there, have you?
Yeah, so this was sort of the interim solution for a quick shower. So I put a water tank up there, hose down, I've got a shower in there, gravity fed, it's a black tank, it warms up the water.
Yep.
Now there's shower and toilet at the back, but this is honestly, like, I just left it there because when you want to wash your hands quickly, you get access to water.
Yeah. What have you got stashed in here?
Well, this black box here is a standard domestic air conditioner split system. So heating, cooling, 2.6 I think.
Yeah.
Kilowatt, and it's an inverter one, so it's more gentle on the batteries.
Okay. And it runs fine off your 12-volt system?
It does. So there is a bit of a 12-volt setup in this.
Really?
Let's open it up.
What you got?
I didn't look it. That's good.
Ah.
So
Yeah.
there's a little bit of power here.
Yeah. Small country power station.
Yes. So basically, we've approached iTechworld because we've been buying things from them in the past. You've got stuff in your car in a trailer. And we explained our challenge, which is we have an air conditioning that we want to run 24/7, heating, cooling, and we have a bar at the back that we want to be able to run and keep our kegs at 0 degrees at all time. And so this is the setup that they came up with, which is 1200 watts of solar on the roof. So before we even start talking about this, when the aircon is running and when the pub is running, the whole consumption is about 65 amps.
Yep.
The solar puts in 70 amps on a sunny day. So we can run this just off the sun, right? Yep. When there is no sun, this comes into play. So there is 5 240 amp lithium batteries, so 1200 amps of lithium total. These are the pros, so prismatic cells. It's actually a little bit more than 240, I think it's actually 250 real amperage. So 1200 amps of power. Everything is charged from the solar panels, so there's 8 solar panels on the roof. Goes to 2 separate arrays and then charges the batteries. Yep. There's an AC charger, a BC charger, so you can charge it from mains if ever needed for some reason. Yeah. And then there's the actual power board. So the power board just has circuit breakers for all the charging, circuit breakers for the 3000 watt inverter. The inverter is what powers the aircon and the bar. And then switches for all accessories, speakers, lights, and all of that.
Do you think you've got enough?
So far it's been pretty good. So I've rarely dropped below like 90% on the battery. So far it's been pretty good. Yep. We could fit another 5 batteries down here, so maybe... No, just kidding. It is...
It's plenty. Other thing about this is, this was a DIY install, right? So we did this over the course of a weekend at one of the 4-wheel drive shows. We're not electricians. I'm useless at DIY. And we didn't blow ourselves up, and you're still alive.
That is correct. So this is the second system I've done in my life. And honestly, just sort of use their manuals, look at how things are supposed to be wired, did a little diagram on my computer, and then just wired everything live in front of people at the show. You can watch the video of us doing that. Honestly, it couldn't be simpler. This is all just plug and play. Just follow some of the instructions that they have, like how thick the cables should be, what kind of amperage on the circuit breakers you need so it's safe. Outside of that, super simple, yeah.
And most of the time that we actually spent was getting the cables ready, right? We're cutting lengths and putting plugs on them and all that. That was where a bulk of our time was. But
correct.
Actually installing the system was pretty easy.
Correct.
Once
That's
we had
correct.
all that. But yeah, it's an impressive system.
Yeah.
I love this board. It just makes things so much easier.
Yeah, the board actually has a DC-DC charger
Yeah.
connected to it, or installed that already. It comes with it, so you can charge it from the truck as well when we're driving. It also has a solar input, so you can chuck up a lot of solar blankets and you can charge from that. So theoretically, you could get about 70, 75 amps from the solar, another 35 from the AC, so that's what, 110. Another 35 from that, so about 145, and then a couple of blankets. So you can probably charge about 150 amps an hour rate, which, yeah,
That's plenty.
that is plenty.
But to be honest, in Australia, you're never going to run out of power. Basically.
No, there's enough sun. If you park it outside, it's always charged.
Yeah. No, it's a mighty impressive system, and we've, like I say, we've run iTechworld stuff in the FJ. I've got the lithium starter battery. We've got them in the trailer. And we've done a bunch of trips and a bunch of camping with them, and we've had no issues.
When there's power outage, you can run your house from that. And we actually done that once. There is a shack for Santa to take pictures with families, and they were affected by bushfires, and the electricity got shut down.
Yeah.
It was obviously summer here. It was hot. It was 40 degrees. So we parked the truck behind the shack, and we ran their aircon and the whole lights and camera gear, everything for a week straight.
It's wild, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. So that's the power setup.
Cool. Yeah, that's my favourite piece. Well, it's not actually my favourite piece. There's one more bit that's more my favourite.
The one that is powers.
Yes. Cool.
Shall we have a look at that?
Yeah, let's do that. What have you done to the back of this truck? This is where people show the most interest, isn't it?
Yes, so I guess we need to tell the story, right? So we were crossing the Simpson Desert, and long story short, we were stuck with frozen beer. It was -1 degree outside for quite a long time, and in sort of this delirium, we were looking and hoping that maybe there's a pub somewhere there. Obviously, it wasn't.
No.
So we made a decision that we're going to build our own pub that we can take anywhere with us, and that's where this actually started. And then we were like, well, what can we do? Where can we put it on? Then we came up with a truck and electric and all of that. So this is where the pub is. So this is a deck. That deck comes down.
Yep.
So just unlock that.
Yep.
And then you just have a handy remote control.
Oh, so this is your third winch.
This is my third winch. That's the one that, yes. And you just do that, and it comes down. And so this is what we built.
Always makes you smile.
It does.
Yeah, and it's with the decals now. So we've got Blasta Brewing on tap. So they're in Perth. Great place out in Burswood if you get a chance to go.
Yeah.
But we've got their beer on tap, so we've got 6 kegs in here, 4 taps, and as you can see we've got their decals for their beers, and it looks like a proper pub.
And then we do have a bit of sound on top as well.
Yeah.
So that's the EcoXGear sound system, right? So you had one.
I started with one.
Then when you added a second one, that made a difference. Then we added a subwoofer.
Yeah.
That made another difference. So we added another 2 and 4 and 2 subwoofers. They're each 500 watts, and you can wirelessly link them all. So it ends up about what, 3,500 watts of sound.
Yeah. So now when we go camping, we have to put a drone up to see if anyone's near us because it's loud.
But yeah, so the idea was that anywhere we go, we can have a cold beer. Don't drink and drive, please. This is when we stop at a camp afterwards. But fresh beer straight from the tap. Deck to sit on, doesn't matter what's on the floor, if it's muddy, dirty, sand, you can sit up here, put your chair up here, have access to your bar, listen to music and just enjoy the life.
Yep. Now this unit that we've got came from a company called Kegged.
Yes.
So they helped us source this one. The difference with this one is it actually runs off the 240 volt or it can run off 12 volt as well. So
correct.
For us, running it off 12 volt is perfect.
Yeah. With that power system, this on 12 volts, it can run pretty much indefinitely, forever. Keeps it at nice 0 degrees Celsius, which is perfect for these beers. Like they're inside, 6 kegs inside, 4 are tapped, but 2 are spare. You can always carry extra kegs with you.
Yeah, and you could put a bigger tap on, but we went with the 4 just for sort of sturdiness. I mean, this thing gets shaken around quite a lot. So far, with off-roading, it hasn't fallen out.
No, I mean, have a look at what we've done with it, and this thing, after what you're just looking at, this thing has been perfectly fine. Stop for 10-15 minutes and you can start pouring fresh beer.
Yeah. Pro tip, if you want to drink as soon as you get to camp, cider, or I think what we've learned is just keep the pressure lower.
Correct. So usually you would keep your beers between 10 to 12 psi under pressure.
Yeah.
But if you're four-wheel driving, keep it around 8. By the time you stop, it's actually going to be around the 10, 12. And then, yeah, you don't get all the froth coming out.
Yeah, we can generally pour a pretty decent beer when we arrive.
Yeah.
So.
A worst case scenario, cider or a seltzer.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep, so this is the back of it. And I mean, it's just so logical. Like, we live in a country that, what are the two things that people love the most? Four-wheel driving and beer.
Yeah, exactly.
They're just logical. And how come doesn't everyone have this in the truck?
You go camping, you want cold beers?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a door.
That is a door.
What's behind the door?
There's a secret.
What secret?
Well, when you've had a few, hardcore camping, when you've had a few and you want to rest, there's a shower, toilet and a queen-size bed with air conditioning inside.
So I go off to my rooftop tent and climb up, and he gets into his master suite with aircon and everything.
So there's obviously a space, we'll show you guys inside, but there's a space that's above the two boxes, so that's where the queen size bed is, aircon, and then in the front here there's a shower and toilet that's behind the bar, and a small space here you can change. So it's it's all in one.
Yep. And you've got heating in the winter off the aircon as well, haven't you?
Yeah,
So.
yeah, it's split systems, so heating and cooling.
Yeah, it's I don't know if we can call it camping. It's just a mobile hotel / pub. Okay, we're around the other side, so got your third winch here.
Yes, so that is the winch that the rope runs through over the roof under the solar panels to the back.
Yep.
And that's what with the remote control opens and closes the deck.
Yeah, because you've got the two spares on there, so that actually weighs a ton, doesn't it?
Correct, yeah. So the spares with all the deck all combines for about close to 200 kilos. Yeah. So yeah, that. Speaking of 200 kilos, we never actually discussed the weights of these things, did we?
Yeah, how much does it weigh?
So this currently weighs at 5 tons.
Okay.
The GVM is 6 tons on these, so I still have a ton to play with. You do need to have a truck license for this. Because anything over 4.5 ton GVM, you need a truck. So this is light rigid license.
And you did a test, didn't you?
Yes, I had to do a test. The instructor absolutely loved taking this for a drive.
And what else you got going on here? You got your snorkel.
There is a little snorkel.
Yeah.
So that goes up there. So theoretically, like the water could be up to about here. We'll be able to go through.
Yeah.
The deepest I've ever been was about here,
yeah.
Which doesn't sound much, but then if you compare that to any other vehicle, that's close to a bonnet level.
Yeah, exactly.
And then there is a fuel filter and water separator, so that's brand new from Ryco.
Yep.
Just to keep the fuel nice and clean.
Yeah. Okay.
And a fuel tank.
Yeah, that's an issue, isn't it?
So this is the stock fuel tank. They are a 90-liter fuel tank. But the pickup on this is really high, so I probably can use about 60 liters out of that.
Yeah.
So with the consumption about 2021, which is actually not too bad, I can do about 300 k's with it.
Like, how do you do a truck that has a fuel tank that size?
Right. So the new trucks, they've got bigger tanks on the other side. Yeah. But as you saw previously on the other side, there's a huge amount of space. So I've already ordered and we're fitting a long-range fuel tank on the other side. So the combined, it's going to be 240 liters there and then 60 here, so 300 liters of fuel.
Yeah. And diesel, so you'll have heaps.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then here, there's the air filter, a giant thing.
Yeah.
And there is a drain on the bottom as well, so if in any case water gets into the snorkel, it goes through into a separator, into a drain, and it comes back out, so it doesn't go into the air filter.
Nice. Alright, basic cab, but you've added quite a few things, so talk us through what you've done.
Yeah, so first of all, this used to be grey, now it's black. This is a paint that you can buy in super cheap auto really, or anywhere. You can paint your dash, but you can also paint cloth with it, so you can paint carpets, whatnot. So really good thing, super easy to do. Painted that, took me about 5 minutes. But really just added a few things. So a new radio, that was about 60 bucks, but it's got a bigger screen. I've got a CarPuride screen here, which is Apple CarPlay, Android Auto.
Yep.
I've got a tire pressure monitoring system for AAV, so that monitors all 6 wheels, well 4 wheels and the 2 spares at the back. I've got a reverse camera up there and a big screen here. This by far has been the best addition to, I've done this on a patrol and then I've carried over to here. Rather than having HEMA units or all of that, just have a tablet. You can have HEMA on that, you can have anything else. This is Wikicams for example now. You can have really anything you want and then you take it off and you have a tablet, right?
Yeah.
And it costs about the same money. And yeah, there's a UHF radio here from EcoXGear, that's the antenna in the front, and then just a handheld also from EcoXGear, just to run around and help each other navigate on the track.
Yeah. And where's the engine?
You're sitting on it. Yeah, so the engine is right here underneath, which in winter is awesome because you get nice warm heat from under your seat.
Yeah.
In summer, it just adds a little bit warmth, but it does have aircon, so that's good.
Yeah, and it works?
It works. It actually works really well, the aircon in here.
Yeah.
I had to clean the filter, but now it works really well.
Yeah.
But otherwise, really simple. Like you've got a knob for these, proper knob for four-wheel drive, exhaust brake. It's got a hill start assist, and then the front e-lock switches here.
Yeah, and you really are right up, aren't you? I mean,
so that's the advantage. You know, it's big, it's manual, it's heavy, it leans and all of that. That's challenging in four-wheel driving, but the fact that I can literally see the track and the rocks right down in front of me, that is huge. Yeah. Especially with four-wheel drives like the Patrol and whatnot. You know, you go a little bit up a hill, you see the sky. You can't see anything else. With this, I can see all the way down. So that definitely helps.
All right. So that is the truck. That is the back bar truck that has a pub in the back of it. I hope you enjoyed the walkthrough of it. If you've got any questions about it, send us a message. And if you'd like to see anything else in it, on it, send us a message.
Yeah, exactly. Hope you liked it. It's definitely one of a kind build. I think that's the advantage of these trucks, right? Like we've seen trucks with saunas in them and campers and whatever you can think of. This thing without a tray is around 3.8 tons, 6 tons GVM. You have 2.2, just over 2.2 tons to play with. Yeah. You can put anything. So yeah, if you have any questions on the build and how we built it, we never talked about a canopy.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Tell us about the canopy then.
Canopy is an aluminium canopy. It's MWToolbox guys. They built it for us. They did a really good job. I literally designed it in Photoshop. I was like, this is where I want things, this is what I want it to look like, this is where the door will be. The door becomes an awning, as you can see. And they literally just sent me a full 3D plan of that. And 6 weeks to build it, 2 weeks to ship it. 8 weeks later, I had this on a truck.
So. Easy. And it was pretty reasonably priced as well. I mean, I won't say what, but it was a good price. Yeah. It was almost half of the quotes that we've got around here. So, All right, well, there's only one thing left to do. Let's pour a cold one. Let's pour a cold one. Cheers, guys. Cheers. See ya. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Yeah! Ding.